disrespected yet? Does this defense have any heart?
No, they suck. I've been telling you all season, Philly.
Shit on you. They've shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, they shit on you. They've shit on you. They have shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, they shit on you. Kill them.
Kill them. Oh my goodness. Did he say they cock it on them?
Hate the style of defense.
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great Mother's Day. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's already Mother's Day. That means half of May is already gone. And before you know it, we will be literally at training camp. Let me say shout out to Larry Woods, who just became a member and just joined the chat.
Hey, Larry. And
here's what we're going to do for Larry. I haven't been doing them in a while, but at game time, Brian's reminded me about doing giveaways. I have something that's I think it's kind of cool. Now, you guys may disagree with me. I've learned something, and let me get my crew in here. I've learned something that you got to be careful about. And you got to be careful about, even though we are just YouTubers, okay? You know, we don't get any respect out there. That's okay. You got to be careful what you say, because you never know who might be watching. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I learned yesterday that Tom Beebe retweeted a video that I did yesterday. So do you know who Tom Beebe is?
Isn't that the father of our new center?
Yes, actually it is. And he now follows the Joe Boo Sports Report.
Yes!
So it's kind of like, okay, well, that was kind of cool. And I learned that actually, let me see if I can get the camera situated here so I can get this in here, because of my wonderful bride, you know, my better half, as they say. Okay, there we go. She's done this piece right here.
Wow.
Okay, we're going to give this away today.
That looks wonderful.
She was working on this thing until 2 a.m. in the morning. I don't know if you guys can see it, but 56, that is our center, okay? And I look at him and I see Juggernaut. I just, when I saw him with the helmet and everything else, he looks like Juggernaut. And so to get the little football in his hand there, and so I think that's kind of cool. So Tom, if you're watching, email me at cowboysmark94gmail if you're interested in getting a Juggernaut shirt. So Larry Woods, what's up, Larry? Hello, Larry. How are you doing?
Don't forget to unmute.
You got to unmute, my man. Unmute the mic.
Oh, look, I'm talking and then I realized the mic was muted. But that is me.
Well, that's some shit I would do.
Oh, yes. But Mark, hey, I appreciate it. To be honest, I've been watching for quite some time. And to be honest, I even watched you doing when you in game time, you guys went to Detroit. I was watching that as well.
Well, thank you.
And yes, sir. You're very welcome. And I'd like to say I really do enjoy your content. And by the way, I'll be getting one of those Juggernaut shirts, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know if my wife has actually put them in the shop. We actually have we got a new machine. And anybody who is a tailgate member, Tracy is doing actually a special shirt. Like last year we did the shot glass holders. Well, we did the Joe Barty's the year before.
The year before. Okay.
So this year we're going to be doing a Cowboy Mafia, but I need a picture of you, because she's got this app that can kind of like put you into anything. And so she's done one, and oh my God, she looks hot in it. But anyway, as a cowgirl, okay. So Gina Thorne is getting hers, and her husband is getting his, and stuff like that. So we'll do a special shirt that will be it says Cowboys Mafia, and it's like you're in the Old West. So I definitely need to get pictures from you, because it's like an app that you literally just put the picture into it. And, you know, you can be like, she did one of, it was like Lilu from The Fifth Element. I was like, is that you? It's like, yeah. So it literally will put you in almost any kind of background or any kind of hero or whatever. I think somebody did one of me years ago with Fat Bastard. From Austin Powers, which wasn't flattering. What's up, wonderful Rhonda Lovely Sparks in the house, Stacy Schubert's in the house, Jeff Lee, Gina. Oh, there's Gina Dallas Stevens. I was just talking about you in the house. Shout out to everybody. I literally just got back from seeing my mother on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the wonderful mothers out there. Without you, we're not here. Dirty Sanchez says, what's up? Happy Mother's Day. So, here's my thought. Edward, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Mark?
I mean, I don't know if we're going to see our buddy or not.
Don't say his name.
I don't know if we're going to see LB or not, man. But can we all get along on Mother's Day if he does come?
I thought we was in the man cave.
We are in the man cave, man. But look, we don't want any blood all over the floor in the man cave to have to clean up, man.
Oh no,
Christina Johnson, what's up?
I'm trying to buy some real estate up there in Philadelphia so I can go see him.
Buy some real estate in there. Well, it should be cheap.
This app called ARC7.
Okay.
They let you buy shares as low as $20, and you don't have to worry about the maintenance or nothing.
Okay.
Put more money in.
Dirty Sanchez, stop it. We're not trying to call him up in here. All right, so here's my question, because this is the time of year that things turn when you are a Dallas Cowboy fan. We've gone through with the Cowboys. They don't do anything. They don't care about we're going to suck. We're going to be the worst team in the history of football, to now all of a sudden beginning to get hope. Are we a better team on paper right now than we were last year? Or are we worse? That is my question to you. We've got a bunch of rookies we've seen on the field, at least, in shorts and helmet yesterday and stuff, that they kind of, wet your whistle, give you a little taste and a little flavor. Does anybody have hope for this season that it won't be a bad season?
I do.
You do?
I would definitely have some faith.
I think it's going to be a great season.
We got beef in the linebacker spot. We got some injured guys coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some running game now, a little bit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have a better season. We're not going to go, I think we'll go 12 again or maybe better.
I would agree on that as well. I would say either 12 or better. And I love what you said. I mean, the running back position isn't phenomenal as we would expect it to be, but having an offensive line to give them that opening would be just as good as having that running back.
And that offensive line, man, it's going to be a monster. That boy BB come out to be like he looks.
Well, there's going to be some growing pains with that too now.
Yeah. I'm not saying like right out the gate they're just going to be just this force coming in, but I give them, like you say, Mark, give them time to develop.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see a major improvement, I feel, than what last year was.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you,
intimidation plays a lot in the game too. I think that guys will intimidate a lot of people just by looking at them.
If we go by the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl season with Mike McCarthy, they rushed the ball for 1,606 yards with 3.8 yards in average. Not exactly that good. That was not that good. Yeah,
but they did it by committee, if I remember.
They did, and if we go down to, because I can't remember the running back. I have to look it up again. But Brandon Jackson was their lead running back with 703 yards.
It was that big guy they had that was real. Was it Henderson?
No, they had John Kuhn, who was the fullback.
Coons was the fullback.
He had 281 yards. He
was the big stud.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers had 356 yards. So it wasn't like they were doing a whole lot as far as running the football. 1,600 yards. I think that's about what we had this year. And we looked and we said, man, this isn't good. The amazing thing about this was I was surprised that looking at Green Bay's numbers, he's only had 2,000-yard running backs in his time in Green Bay. In fact, when they had a better running game, they ended up with less wins. Go figure. So for Mike McCarthy, this kind of falls right into what he likes to do. And the other part on that was he had Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, James Jones, Jordan Nelson. So they basically had Greg Jennings had like 1,200 yards, and everybody else was between about 580 to like 700 yards. So it wasn't like it was just one guy getting the lion's share. They distributed the ball all over the field, and basically, you might stop this guy, but we got somebody else that's going to hit. And I think back to Dak Prescott's rookie year, where you didn't have a whole lot of Pro Bowlers other than Dak and Zeke. Wide receiver-wise, you had Cole Beasley, you had Dez, you had Terrence Williams, and, you didn't have monster numbers by the wide receiver. You had everybody kind of, in that 600-700 range, and they were able to just kind of, and that's where they were saying he's just a dink and dunker. There's a lot to be said for distributing that ball around the field like that. Thoughts? Brad Harris, what's up?
I think, if we can go back to what he duplicated that Super Bowl run,
they were great on defense too.
I think, if you could do the running back by committee, great, because, that's going to put more pressure on the other defenses because they don't know who to zone in on every week, each week. I mean, yeah, sure, we're going to have Zeke, but he's not going to be the runner he was the first time around, where he was getting 1,300 yards a season, give or take.
But, I think part of the problem with that is when you look at the big name running backs in football, when you look at some of the great seasons that have been there, you look at a running back that gets, 300 plus carries. It seems like there's not the success in the playoffs. And I'm wondering if that is because they have run the ball so much during the season that by the time the season is over and you're in the playoffs, that your body is just worn out. You've gotten all those hits already in there. Because you think about Adrian Peterson, I don't think Adrian Peterson was part of a single playoff victory.
No, he wasn't.
Right?
He's 0 for.
Right. I think he only was in one game. I think we played him and we beat him, I thought. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was Tony Romo was quarterbacking that one.
So you look at that. You look at a guy like Frank Gore. By the time you get to the playoffs, and I think this is what's happened with Zeke, with the exception of his rookie year when we played against Green Bay, he had 128 yards. That by the time you get to the playoffs, your legs are shot. You're battered and bruised, and you're not able to run the ball the same way. And that's where you look at somebody like Saquon. Saquon's numbers are generally really good to start the season, but then they start going downhill as the season progresses. So it may be something, too, running back by committee, that you're not putting all of those carries on there and your legs are a little fresher by the time the season is over. I don't know. I mean, that's the thought. Now, you may not have the same skill set, but if you have a younger back who's got a little bit of a burst, as opposed to a guy who's been through 350 carries by the end of the season, you may be better off with the guy who doesn't have all those carries on him. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's at least my theory.
No, I think you're right. I think that's what's going to happen is that the more you don't rely on him, to be that every down back, I think he'll be fine. He's got to have some rest, at some point in the game. And if it's not there and he's the one that's primarily running, that is going to create some issues in the long run.
Jeremy, you're 100% right on that. The Niners have gone to 2 conference championships and a Super Bowl with Christian McCaffrey. You are right about that, but I also look and say they had Devo, they had Brandon Ayuk, and they also had Kittle. I mean, they had weapons across the board, which also helped Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, and a great defense to go with it, which also helps Christian McCaffrey. But when you look at teams that say we've got a great running back and that's all we got, when you think about Saquon when he was in New York, their passing game wasn't there, so we had to go ahead and pass to him. We had to run with him. By the season's over, it's worn out. Christian McCaffrey is getting better runs because you have to worry about Brandon Ayuk and Debo. So it's not getting 8 men in the box like what Zeke Elliott faced all the time. Again, I'm Joe the fan, just giving you my take on it. When you have a multitude of weapons, and that's where I would love for the Cowboys to get another receiver to be able to stretch the field out, because that's going to make it better for the running game.
Because, I mean, other than CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, I'm looking at our receivers. I'm like, I know they're wanting Jalen Tolbert to be the third guy, but I haven't really seen a whole lot of production from Jalen Tolbert. I mean, I really don't.
He played actually better last year than Michael Gallup did.
That'll give you. He was better last year, but it's like I got to see more from the guy in order for me to trust him as a third receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that's going to be the plan or not. I tell you what I do like. I did see yesterday with Rico. Rico was kind of like, because everybody's like, oh, the Cowboys got no, running backs. They should have kept their 4th round pick and not traded for Trey Lance, because then they could have gotten a running back. And Rico's kind of like, me. That you now actually, I think, have some competition out there, which I think is really needed. The fact that we ended up getting D-Law right now, where they say, here's D-Law's replacement, and he hasn't actually started following him on Instagram or something, is going to hopefully bring out the best of D-Law to say, shit, I got a young guy they just drafted to replace me and put a fire under his ass. That Rico was hearing all this stuff about, they need another running back that is going to put a fire under his ass to say, I'm going to be the lead back. Same thing with the offensive line, that now all of a sudden you got Guyton and BB, that you're going to see Brock Hoffman saying, wait a minute, I'm fighting for this spot to be a starter right here too. So I love having competition. I love to have guys where I have to earn my spot as opposed to just being anointed as the starter. And I think that will actually do better for them.
It's more fun to see too.
Well, definitely.
Didn't we get Davis back also off injury?
I believe we did, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
See, that's going to help a lot, because I like Davis better. I like Davis for the speed, and I like Rico for the third downs.
Yeah, well, and you got Zeke in there too, which will definitely be short yardage, and also a lot of the passing game too for blocking. It'll be interesting to see the Texas Coast offense in the second year. We got Loyal Cowboy and my man Brian Green, the mailman, in the house. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Same shit, different day, man.
Like the rookie minicamp.
I tell you what, I enjoy. I enjoyed seeing some of the drills. I liked seeing Cooper Beebe, where they had. I don't know if they're sandbags or if they're airbags or what, but he's basically, you're getting that Z, I like to call it, where your body, you're leaning forward, you got your butt dropped down, and you got your 90 degrees on your thighs and your knees and everything else. They had him there at the goal line, and he's got to punch back. And what it is, it's a balancing drill to make sure that you keep your base up underneath of you and your shoulders square and don't fall over. And he's got, what I noticed is he got some big feet, man. They're like gunboats. I mean, it's like, damn. They almost
Dan's in the house there, Mark.
I'm sorry?
Dan's in the house.
I don't think that's I don't think that's the Dan Salio. But if it is,
Okay.
But it could be. It could be. We got so many different trolls in here that will fake stuff out and everything else. But if it is Dan, he might want to be spending time with his wife. It is Mother's Day. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely remember to say Happy Mother's Day to the
definitely.
Big sills.
I'm gonna be having extra time with mine because we'll be driving to Vermont tomorrow, and it's about 529 miles. If it's nonstop, it's like 8.5 hours. But being an old guy, I'm about to stop and pee a couple of times.
Only two.
Just get you a
Okay.
camper, man, and just that way you got to stop, take a nap.
Wait a minute, but the problem is I'm still the only driver. Okay. You always see on like Instagram where they have the husband is like he's walking around looking, checking, making sure everything's there, and then she's just kind of there like la 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 la, not having a worry in the world because you're the one taking care of all shit. That's our road trips. I'm the driver. Okay. I tell you, it was funny coming up the road because my wife, like I said, the juggernaut one here. Shout out to her because when she ends up wanting to do something. She's up. It was up to like 2:00 in the morning. So we're driving up the road and she's falling asleep. I just kept, right. And I was like, maybe I should put my hand up there and prop her head up for her a little bit. She woke up and was like,
Hey, Mark,
is your neck hurting you?
I was gonna say, I just sent you my picture. So
Okay, cool beans. So yeah, that's going to be what we're going to do for the tailgate members. I own Cowboys and Eagle fans, Big Sill Mania. Okay.
Let's hope that's not the right one.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So your guys' thoughts. You guys feel pretty good about the team. I actually look at this and say, when I look at the salary cap, and that we still have $3.8 million after signing. I think Nealon is the only one who's not signed. I don't see him on the list yet.
No, he hasn't been signed.
But having $3.8 million and a little over 2 weeks from now, the Cowboys will get another 9.5, which will be the most money they've had all off season.
Right.
Nealon kind of looks like to me.
Who's that?
What's that edge for the Saints? What's his name?
Cam Jordan.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan.
He kind of looks like Cam Jordan.
I was thinking
Cam Jordan is a big man.
Body built for it.
If he could play like him, he might.
I ain't gonna lie to you,
Our front seven will be more dominant than last year if he can play like that.
bro. I am about 5'10" and about 260 plus at the moment, and I had Calais Campbell on this side of me, and I had Cam Jordan on that side of me, and I looked like a little kid. Those are two. I mean, seriously, I'm looking up. Hey, Calais.
Like some giants.
Hey, Cam.
Big dudes.
Like, y'all some big motherfuckers.
So once we get that, we're up to 12 million in the salary cap. What do we go after next?
That's the question.
Debo.
They ain't going for Debo.
I want Debo.
They ain't going for Debo.
I would love to get Debo, but I don't think that's it.
That ain't gonna happen. That's way.
The only
way
way
too
we're
much.
going to get him out of San Francisco is if we offer him the right compensation package.
And listen.
Which may be a
Trey Lance was a fourth.
6th rounder the next year.
It's not as far fetched as you think, Mark.
I don't see that one happening.
Too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing you have to actually wonder is.
I'm not saying Dallas, but him being outright released post June is under consideration.
Christina Johnson, where am I taking my wife for Mother's Day? Vermont. Yes, we're going to Vermont.
Early summer.
It's summer. No, it's like
late spring.
65, I think, is a high temperature the next week and a half up there. It's
Beautiful.
chilly. It's chilly.
Okay, mid-spring.
It ain't Phil in Detroit chilly, so you'll be fine.
And we'll be working too. So yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah.
Or go get me the big man, Calais Campbell.
That
Something like that.
That would definitely put him in a rotation on there. That's the kind of move
I think
that would
it'd
be
a good rotation, kind of like what we had with Trent Williams or what it was, or
Oh, you're
that we
thinking
had
of
2 years ago in rotation.
Dante something.
Dante Fowler and Dorn. Well, basically, that's how our whole defensive front worked last year, because you think about, we had so many defensive ends, it was ridiculous. You know, between Dante Fowler, between Dorrance Armstrong, between Micah Parsons, between D-Law, between Goldston, and Sam Williams. The thing is we had so many guys that I don't know how you get into a rhythm with the rotation.
Right.
And
you got to figure one out and stick to it. That's all there is.
Well, if you're Micah Parsons, you separated yourself, and you're the reason. You're the guy. So if you play well enough that they can't take you off the field, that's how you become that. And this is where, I look at it and I said, I was saying this with Brian, I think, the other night. If Micah Parsons, almost every play you see him double teamed, right?
Or held.
Right? Or sometimes even triple teamed. If he's getting that much attention, that means I'm pretty much almost guaranteed that I'm one-on-one. Then you got to make plays. Exactly. You should be feasting just because he's that good on that side. And, people look in the playoffs and they say, man, Micah didn't do shit in the playoffs. Didn't nobody do shit on that defensive front? Nobody.
Nope.
Our defense gave up way too much in that game.
They checked out even before the game began.
Yeah, and so that's where you look at that and say, oh, it's not, okay. There's 11 spots on that defense. 11. And you can't have just one guy being the difference maker. I think maybe in some regards, you know how I am about fantasy football. Anybody know how I am about fantasy football?
Yep.
He's not joining.
To me,
you don't like to change your players. You like to stick with the same squad.
No, well, first of all, no. There's a problem for me saying, let me root for somebody who's an Eagle. What the fuck is that? I got a giant player. I got a what? No, I'm not rooting for them for any reason whatsoever. But
that's why you don't pick any of their players.
But it skews your mind to think, oh, well, let's just trade that guy and bring in another guy. Real football doesn't work that way. It's not that easy. You can't just say, let me go ahead and take that quarterback off that team this week and plug him in, and he's going to be great. No, it don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that. Sorry, that sounds great, but it's not working that way. So I had a point to this, and now I can't remember. I'm getting old and forgetful. Shit. But if anybody knows what I was talking about, please let me know. But you can't
Something
just
about fantasy football.
But it's ridiculous. But there was a full circle on there going through there. Oh, I know what it was. So when you go for like Mazi could go through and have 35 tackles and 2 sacks, and people will say he sucks, man. He's a bum. He's a waste. And as a nose tackle, that's actually decent numbers.
Right.
Because what happens is people will look and say, oh, well, Micah Parsons, he's got all these pressures. He got all these quarterback hits. He got, the sacks and things. As a nose tackle, you can't grade him like fantasy football because his job is totally different. His job is just hold the freaking line and give the glory to others. And that's the thing that people don't seem to understand. And when you look at the numbers, it wasn't as bad as everybody made it out to be. He played only like 24% of the snaps. And that was basically because Hankins was the guy. And Dan Quinn, who knows what Dan Quinn was trying to do with him. I don't know if Dan Quinn had it against him personally or not. But from what you're hearing.
When I saw Mazi play, I thought he did pretty good. I mean, he was bull rushing a lot, and he was actually.
He's not good. The thing is, Dan Quinn likes pressure on the quarterback. He likes the sacks. That's what he wants. He wants those numbers right there. Mazi's not going to give you a whole bunch of sacks. What he's going to give you is he's going to eat up a running back. He's going to be like, literally, get in my belly. He's going to occupy the offensive lineman. That's what he did in college. But then they tried to say, oh, you got to lose this weight and be able to rush the quarterback. And it's like, now I'm learning something totally different than what I was doing. I hope that we end up seeing a totally different Mazi this year. That's my hope.
Same here, because that's weird to me that Dan Quinn would do that, considering knowing in college that he was actually built to be a run stopper.
Yeah.
So it makes no.
And we didn't use that at all.
Yeah, and it didn't do nothing for us. Like that extra 30 pounds probably would have helped up there in the front, You'd be surprised.
Definitely. I agree with that 100%. All right.
I hope he puts that weight back on and becomes that beast.
I hope
I really
you
do.
maul somebody.
Put Mazi at fullback.
Where was he out of? Missouri?
Plugs up the line and just stops the run behind the line of scrimmage. That's what
Where
I
did
want to see.
Mazi play? Was it Missouri or
Michigan.
Michigan?
Michigan.
Oh,
Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, Marcus Blackman. Kellen Moore is so overrated as a coordinator. Didn't the Eagles get the memo on this guy?
They're just trying to use him to get some information out of us.
Not that they're going to get anything.
Yeah, when I found out about that, I was like, they can have him.
So let me ask you guys. Now, this is a real question. This is not take your blue-collared cowboy glasses off.
Okay.
How do y'all honestly feel the Eagles are going to be this year?
Not good.
They're not going to be as good as they think they're going to be. I don't think.
I don't think they are either. I think there's.
They lost their center. That's going to be the main thing.
I personally think they win the division.
After losing some of the players they've lost, I just don't see anything happening for them.
I think actually more than that, changing systems again, offensive, defensive coordinators.
It's going to place something on both offense and defense because they cleaned house on their coordinators and staff.
Alan Walker, I'll worry about the Eagles and the Cowboys. If I make a mistake, that's my choice. Okay? But honestly, though, this will be the third season. Is it third?
Yeah,
third season for Jalen Hurts
in 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years for Jalen Hurts. Yep.
That's not a good way to get the most out of your quarterback. Now they're probably going to try and they said they've been working on read option over and over and over and over again, and your head coach is kind of like a dead man walking. We talk about Mike McCarthy being on the hot seat. That guy's really on the hot seat right now.
Dracula will throw all those coaches under the bus. That's what he does.
Yeah, I don't know if they took all the power away from him. So, to me, they Jason Garretted him. He's ready to be the fall guy, but not my problem. Y'all need to help Dak. Alan Walker, you ain't lying on that one. Although I will say, getting 2 offensive linemen, 2 young guys that hopefully become studs, is one great way to help him.
Tyler Guyton was, man.
He's
big.
Big guy.
He is like Calais Campbell, 6'8", 330.
He sounds like he's smart too. I saw his interview.
And Cooper Beebe, I mean, wow. The way that guy just knocks people down, I'm like,
yeah, like you said, he looks like a juggernaut, just like Mark said.
Yep, we're going to be giving this shirt away today.
Like Ram Man off of He-Man or something.
Did you ever see those rock'em sock'em robots?
I was thinking that too. I'm like,
he looks like one of those rock'em sock'em robots to me. He's all blocked up.
I've got one. I've actually got one right over here on my shelf here in my man cave.
Oh, yeah?
I found an old one a couple of years ago at a card show.
What's up, Jeff Lee?
I honestly believe that actually getting Cooper Beebe and Guyton was directly to deal with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and those guys with the Eagles, that they figured out we need to get some more meat up front. And, when I look at Cooper Beebe, I don't know. I mean, again, he's 3rd round draft pick. We don't know anything till they put the pads on and actually start hitting. But you have to like the 330 pounds that he has and the aggression that he has as well. And I hope that he ends up being a stud. It seems like he was definitely taking command of being a center. And as Mike McCarthy put it, his shit-eating grin that he's got.
Yeah.
Hey, Rhonda.
He will be fine. Acme John says Dak will be fine with a good O-line. Give him a running game and a few more seconds in the pocket. Watch out. Barring injury, this will be Dak's best year ever. I think I'm with you on that one. Actually, Glimmerman, I think having the same system 2 years in a row, it seems to me, I think you're going to see a really great year out of Brandon Cooks this year.
Yes. Yeah, I think he'll be more of a deep threat this year by quite a bit.
Actually, I would love to actually get another receiver to be on the outside and use him more in the slot. with that speed that he has. I think that he could, if you could get him in the slot, if you had a third weapon on the outside.
Think Zeke will have a bounce back year?
I don't know. Well, I think that he's going to be motivated as can be to be back in Dallas. You know that Zeke is going to be motivated to do everything he can, and he also understands I don't have much time. I thought I was going to be able to get big money out there, and New England picked me up for a ham sandwich with sliced Swiss cheese on it. And I'm just happy to be back in Dallas, and hopefully he can do something. So he's got a sense of urgency right now, I think.
Well, not to mention too, we're still paying him that, like you said last week, that $6
million in dead money. Well, the funniest thing I keep seeing on Instagram and Facebook, everybody's like, the Cowboys are stupid. We should have just signed Derrick Henry because you're paying Zeke, $3 million this year and the other $6 million, and Derrick Henry was $8 million. It's like, well, you don't seem to really understand that we're paying $6 million whether Zeke is on here or not, because that's dead money. If you brought in Derrick Henry and his 8 or 9, whatever it is, you're putting his 8 or 9 plus the 6. So it's actually like 15, 16 million as opposed to the 9 that it is. So just a little clarification for some of the people out there.
So next year we're going to have to draft a big running back then, right? If we rebuild it in 2 years.
Maybe.
Hopefully we can.
Well, it depends on what happens with you got your Rico that's there. For all you know, Rico steps up.
Deuce Vaughn might ball out.
And you got Deuce, right. So you don't, given the opportunity.
And now we're getting the thing I like about this. I mean, I was a little pissed in the draft too about not getting the big players, but Dallas is getting back to what they're good at, and that's building that offensive line. All the years you've known Dallas, they've been good. What have they been known for? Having an offensive
line. That offensive
they're getting
line.
back to that, building that line up, because you got to have. I mean, you got to have a good foundation if you want all your tools to work. If you ain't got a line, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah. And when you think
that running back by committee thing is going to work well, I think this year because of that.
With this new offensive line, they're going to have this year for sure. Definitely.
Well, here's the thing that you look at with Zeke is
going to be a lot better.
It's more than just the yards that he rushes. If you end up having him in there in pass blocking, pass protection, and Tyler Guyton has got, the number one guy out there, if Zeke is there to help chip and then go out, then you really have something there. That's another dimension. I
think that's where you could use Deuce Vaughn too. Chip blocking as well.
He doesn't block. He doesn't block.
Well, if they teach him how,
Michael Wright, if you get 800 to 1,000 yards with Zeke, and you're not running him more than about 12 or 13 times a game, that would be fantastic. I just hope they don't go back to saying, okay, we got Zeke out, he's going to get 15, 18 carries a game. And it's like, here we go again. You need to definitely mix it up to keep him fresh as much as possible.
You can catch out of the backfield too. That's something that Derrick Henry's not really known for.
Derrick Henry is not.
No, he's more of a blocking. Yeah, he's more of a blocking back.
But I like to see us use 21 personnel with a lot of things such as like a full house formation because of the players we have and the tight ends we got. You can do a lot of motion that way and get a lot more matchups as well. That's one thing I liked about Parcells was that full house formation. I noticed a lot of stuff with that you can do. So I don't know. I look at that and think. A lot of because we got the tight ends. I mean, we can help. The tight ends can help with our offensive line as well, and the passing running can be all right. I mean, you don't need perfect receivers all across the board. It'd be nice to have another good guy. But
hey, wait a minute, Chris. What's that I see there in the back? Is that Joe Montana?
Actually, yeah, it belonged to my dad. Actually, it was one of the only things that got left.
Joe Montana.
Joe was awesome.
Unfortunately, hey Chris, my dad's a 49ers fan too, so
he was a Cowboys fan, but.
My dad's a diehard 49ers fan, and he lets me know it every year.
I have a friend that's like that. Then my other friend.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Sorry, David. I think I started to interrupt you when you were talking.
I see Marley Green's in the house, man. Long time no see for Marley.
You.
Hey.
Yeah, it's been a while, Marley.
What's up, Troy? How you feeling, man? Looking good.
Doing great.
What's up, Mark? Looking good, looking good.
I don't know about that. Rhonda Lovely Sparks says inches matter. She said Zeke makes inches matter. Excuse me. I need to get that whole thing in there.
Hey, we're not saying his name.
Nah, he'll pop up now, right?
Well, every time I hear ding ding, it's like, is that Leo?
One more time.
Been the stressful officers, I know. I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here, Cowboys forever.
Well, amen on that one.
Tough though.
We got game time. Brian is quiet up there. Game time. Are you with us?
I'm here, man. I'm letting you guys do your thing. Showing Mark some support.
What's that?
What's up? You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, no, I'm just sitting here listening to everybody, doing some stuff on my computer. That's all.
Okay. Just checking.
How are you?
Have you heard any more from Steph? I've been on the road.
Yeah, I got a little update. Let's see here. I'll give you the update. She texted me earlier this afternoon. Randy is a lot more awake today. They're stopping the fentanyl and oxy drips, which is good. I hated that stuff. They're just giving him pain meds by mouth. He's a lot more alert. He thought the president was Nixon.
Damn. He got knocked back in time.
But again, that's not far off from Randy. And his dog is, but he knows everyone's names and is telling me he loves me and wants out of here. So it's looking a lot better. I will say this though. He's not out of the woods with that blood clot. That's how my brother passed away. It's just unfortunate. Yeah. So, but he's on an aspirin regimen, which I don't know. I've never heard of that being real effective. I guess it can work, right? But
they try it in place of the oxy, fentanyl, those harder.
Like the blood thinners. He can't take a certain blood thinner because of some other issues that he's having. So, I will say that everybody keep the prayers up, and he's going to be good. So, let's just keep up the positive vibes. What's up, Marley Greens? What's up, my man?
What's up? Looking
good,
I haven't
seen you in a while, man. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, man, I've been working hard. Got these two girls. Remember, I had one when we first started. Now I got two girls.
Damn, my man.
My oldest son, my 21, man. I'm just...
That's cool.
Can't get no sleep.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm back to work tomorrow for 6 days, so...
For sure.
So Mark, what do you think? We were talking about it on my stream. What do you think the NFL is going to do to us when it comes to
taking every cent we got?
Opening night. Now, just remember, we got 9 home games this year. We got 8 road games. I think we're opening a home this year.
Well, Jerry wants to open with San Francisco, don't he?
He does, but just, I don't know. You're like piped in. You have a good feel.
I got no idea on this one. Although,
but let me just.
I mean, it used to be we were always open with the Giants. Jeez.
If we open up on the road, Mark, that means we're going to have 9 home games and
16 games.
You know what I mean? We would have 9 still home games remaining. So that would be. I kind of think they're going to open up Detroit at home, Sunday Night Football, or something like that. Or Washington
it'll have. Well, you got the Eagles, of course, on Friday in Brazil. Right.
They're going to want to get us on that. They always like us on that Sunday night. They always do. Because the first game is the Thursday, right? It's probably the Super Bowl
Chiefs.
Yeah, so
the Chiefs will be there.
So you figure Sunday night, I'm thinking we're prime Sunday night meat at home. And they're against the Giants, Washington, which I think Washington might be Thanksgiving.
I don't think I think they're going to want a better matchup for that game.
I think play the Eagles week 1.
I think Detroit Lions. I think that would be a good opening
That, with the way it ended and the Lion fans and everything
Texans,
else.
but I think that's a Thursday night game written all over it. I think that would make a lot of sense. Houston.
Here's where you might want to look at this you brought up a good point there with the Texans. They might want to open that up with the Texans because of everything with C.J. Stroud and Micah Parsons.
That would be a good game.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to me that's on the table. I'm looking at possibly middle of the season because we play them at home, having a Thursday night game. But staying in the state, you only got to get on a bus, basically, I would imagine. I don't know if they're flying from Houston to Dallas. I don't know. But maybe, that might be a good Thursday night game. But who knows?
Or we could play the Commanders, Dan Quinn.
Left hand up.
Yep.
They got a lot of options.
It'll be a division game. Just
We'll
have a
see.
feeling. Unless Jerry gets what he wants.
Now, Big Spank Dog, the schedule comes out next Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
I'm looking in your chat, Mark.
Yeah, and it'll see, I'll have to see how everything's going to work out on that, if I'm going to be free or not during that time, because that's when for those who don't know, I'm leaving tomorrow morning to go to Vermont, kind of like what we did years ago in Puerto Rico. Stephanie, I love you, brother. Randy is doing much better today. We were just talking about Randy. Game Time was giving an update on it. Hopefully, he'll be able to go back to Kansas City sometime real soon, Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie, too, because Stephanie, guess what? You are now entered in our drawing, too, for Juggernaut, our new shirt right here. And maybe this will be the perfect one for Randy. Because he definitely, after running into that truck, I saw what his truck looked like. I can imagine what the other one looked like, knowing that Randy was in there with that hard head he's got. Okay, that was a joke. You guys can laugh now. If you know Randy, you know Randy's hard-headed.
I know. That's what I was saying. The fact that he thought Nixon was president, now he's not all there. But he's getting there.
He's getting there. We play the Saints.
Get in that drawing, Mark.
We're going to do that before we get out of here.
Super chat.
Oh, super chat.
Okay.
There's Rhonda.
Rhonda's in there.
Help me, Rhonda.
Stephanie Styles is in there.
Rhonda, lovely Sparks. And if you are a tailgate member too as well, I need you guys to email me to cowboysmark94@gmail a picture of yourself, because my wife Tracy is going to be doing a special shirt for all of the tailgate members where you are Cowboys Mafia. And don't worry, when you see the picture of yourself, you'll be like, "Damn, is that me?"
And she gonna put us in some mafia stuff and be like,
You'll actually be a cowboy.
Put us all in one great big group together.
Well,
have a little Uzi in our hand, and
like a team photo.
It's a cowboy mafia, photo. Okay? It's like the old West. All right, trust me, you'll like them. They look good.
One of us holding a bird representing the Eagles.
Oh, there you go.
One of us.
Actually, we should be going skeet shooting.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody holding a gun, shooting an eagle.
Honey, get her working on that on the way up tomorrow. Dirty Sanchez, I want the Juggernaut. Damn it. Okay.
Oh, Sanchez wants the Juggernaut. All
right, so what else are you guys thinking about this season right now? You still pissed off at Jerry Jones? You still want to?
Yeah, I'm always pissed off at Jerry Jones, but they did what they needed to do. I mean,
yeah.
CJ, shout out to CJ becoming a channel member. If you become a channel member today, like Larry, hello Larry, and CJ, email me cowboysmark94@gmail, because I got to send you guys a football as well as a shot glass too. Appreciate the support where you guys are helping the channel to grow and to be able to do all kinds of cool things like giveaway stuff and all.
Mark, I still haven't received any of that, and I emailed you twice.
So I can send you my email information.
Troy, okay, let me look into it. Troy, Mike's been living with Gina, or excuse me, been up with Gina and all. So let me find out. What was it that? What are you missing?
One of the squeeze footballs.
Okay.
And I think the last 3 shot glasses.
Okay.
I haven't got nothing. I'll need to write your email address down so that I can email you and all that stuff.
All right. Football and the last 3 shot glasses. All right. We're working on the next one. Okay.
Mark, can you repeat your email address?
What do you guys?
Mark94 at Gmail.
Yeah, it's right there in front, right there in front of the microphone on the screen. What do you guys think the record's going to be?
I like 12-5 again.
And
yeah,
12 seasons, it wouldn't have spread.
Will we be able to stop the run?
Hopefully. I say 11-6, 10-7, around there.
That's what I was thinking.
I think 12-5 again. I really do.
Well, my hope is, I don't know what happens to us.
Take the division 2 years in a row. Might as well be us.
Thing is, I
Might as well.
don't know what happens to us when it comes to playoffs. There's some guys that rise to the occasion. It just seems like we always cower once the playoffs get here. We don't seem to have that mental fortitude. We need to be that guy that, when he gets punched in the face, he kind of spits out the tooth and smiles at you. That's the kind of mentality that you need to have. But for some reason, it just seems like we just kind of, here we go again.
Because we don't rest players throughout the game. We don't do a good rotation. We don't know how to rotate our players.
Oh, snap. Help me, Rhonda. Rhonda upgraded to a tailgate. She's like, I want my shirt.
I want the shirt too.
All right, we're getting ready to do this drawing here in just a minute here. I think looking back at Mike Zimmer, when you start looking at some of the clips of him, he's not a big man. He's not huge, to say the least. But he is a guy that he's going to hold you accountable. And I think more than anything else that maybe that's part of the problem is, which never changed from Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett and the whole, everybody gets a participation trophy. To me, this goes beyond just football, but it seems like everybody's expecting everybody to hand them something, or, I'm entitled to get something. It's like, if you want something, at least my generation, you go out and you have to get it. Ain't nobody giving you shit. And it just seems like we show up and we're the Cowboys and they're supposed to bow down to us because we're the Cowboys. It's like, no, that doesn't happen. I would like to see when a guy makes a fuck up on the field, excuse my language, Dad, if you're watching, I apologize. But when you come off the sidelines, that there's some ramifications or something. You know how Jason Garrett is like, we'll get it next time. And Mike McCarthy is kind of laid back as well. And Dan Quinn is kind of like your best friend type of a coach. Mike Zimmer is going to be.
You have that Jimmy Johnson mentality. If you watched him in those 90s games, he took that player by the face mask, brought him, because that player was probably looking over him. He brought him by the face mask and brought him back to reality and told him, he told him what was wrong. We need a coach like that.
Yeah, I think Bill Parcells brought part of that that mentality and changed the team around.
It worked. Look what he did with Larry Allen. Larry Allen was giving up, man. He went up to Larry Allen and, told him, "Hey, man, you're the biggest guy out here, the strongest guy out here," and motivated him. That's what I like about.
Not to mention, look what he did with Tony Romo.
Yeah, drafted free agent, got him in there.
Free agent. He told Tony in one of his practices, "Tony, make this your team," or something like that.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing with a coach, a good coach. He understands when I need to put a foot in your ass, and he also needs, knows when to give you a hug or to pat you on the back, to be able to get the most out of a player. It just feels like we don't get guys. You can't do that nowadays. You're probably right, David, but guys got to understand, I don't have to play you. If you're going to screw up, sit your ass down on the bench. Sit your ass down on the bench. You know, I'm not saying you got to beat them like they used to beat us, but you have to have some kind of accountability that when you screw up, you're not going to be out on the field. We can't afford to have mistakes. That at least is one thing that Micah Parsons was saying, and I don't know if he was trying to bash D-Law and if there's a problem there between the two of them, but he's like, you know, you can't be offsides, and in that playoff game, D-Law lined up offsides. You had a holding by Deron Bland, and he's 100% right. We can't, you know, the coaches are coaching, but we can't turn around and make these same mistakes too, which is the truth. You can't give them 5 yards or, you know, a first down, you know, and things and expect to and I'm awake. I'm not going to say Parsons checked out. I'm going to say that everybody kind of checked out. I mean, everybody. If you know, here's the thing that I will say to people, because people will say, well, Dak just sucked. I look at it and say, Jake Ferguson was about the only one that you looked at and said actually had a really good game, and maybe we should have started going to Jake Ferguson sooner in that game.
Well, it defense looked like it just gave up.
It did nothing for CD, because if you'd have gone to Jake more often, CD would be fired up and saying, what? You got to get the ball to me. And then he probably would have played with more passion.
All right.
But no, it was like he just kind of lollygagged, and that was not CD in that game. I'm sorry.
I just don't want to see what I saw last year, man. I don't want to see a defense give up like that after first drive of somebody.
Our winner
That's what
is
it felt like.
CJ.
That whole mood just changed.
CJ.
Just like, boom.
CJ.
Boom.
Email me, CJ.
Congratulations, CJ.
For the Juggernaut shirt. And I love this one. I truly love the Juggernaut one. Tay Cowboys in the house. What's up, Tay? Who cares about a damn trending down? No one cares. It's the off season. What's trending down?
Like downsizing, isn't it?
No, I'm just wondering what somebody was saying that we're trending down. I'd say we're actually at the moment trending up. I think, you know, I think the Cowboys
said. Lonely B said the Cowboys are trending down.
Okay,
Lonely B said it.
Lonely B. No wonder you're lonely.
Hey, we get that tight end back this year too, on Stevens.
Yeah. Stevens will get
back.
I don't know how. Actually, let's think about this. Okay. What happened to this offseason that made the Cowboys worse? That's what I'm going to ask somebody. Let's be. I mean, this is a real question. If you say the Cowboys are going to be worse, what happened to the Cowboys that makes them worse than last year? What thing happened? Losing Dante Fowler, losing Dorrance Armstrong,
took the losers with him.
Losing Dan Quinn.
No,
we lost a lot of experience.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, he took losers with him. To be honest with you, those guys gave up. They were not playing at all.
Well, okay. For those out there that are saying that we lost a bunch of starters, I point back to 2 years ago when Dorrance Armstrong was signed to his contract, and people said you let go Randy Gregory, who had experience, and you brought in a Dante Fowler coming from Atlanta that was on a broke down defense where he was the highest sack getter at 4.5 sacks. Didn't nobody look at that and say those were great moves 2 years ago? They looked and they said, you lost, Randy Gregory, right? And now we're opining about the guys that replaced him that y'all said were bums?
Yeah, I think
so. You had a guy in Tyron Smith that couldn't start half the season. Just about the last 4 years. So
this year he had 13 in, but he'd only averaged 7.5 games a season the last 4.
Yeah.
Then Pollard. I mean, you didn't really lose anything.
You didn't lose nothing there.
More.
Dorrance Armstrong, you didn't really lose much there either. He wasn't sacking. No. He wasn't tackling very well. Hell, he couldn't even draw a double team even if he wanted to.
That's what I'm saying.
Did he have 8 sacks last year?
He did.
No.
Yeah, he did. He had 8.5 sacks. He was our second sack leader. But my point being is he had 56% of the snaps, and you had Mike on the other side. If you actually take the amount Thank you guys. My nephew is the next Taylor Guyton or Larry Allen. 16. CJ, email me cowboysmark94 gmail. Let me ask you, CJ, this is a 2X, I believe.
230. Good. Crazy.
Yeah, he's tall. Guyton
Oh
is
no,
tall.
I'm sorry. This is an XL. Is he gonna need a bigger one than that? CJ, email me at cowboysmark94 gmail. Do that this evening so that way I can get that to Michael to get that sent out because he's got to get Troy Daniels squared away too.
I'm still trying to. 16 years old, 5'10", solid 230.
They're bigger than they used to be back in my day.
I don't.
That's that church's chicken, man.
No, seriously. Back in here's how old I am.
Tough.
Okay, I played.
That's not too bad.
I played high school football in the early 80s, right? I don't know if any of y'all are my age or not, but do y'all remember when Dave Butts was over 300 pounds and they were talking about,
oh my God,
he was like the first 300-pound guy, and they were like, oh my God, you can't have guys that big playing football because Dave Butts looked like he was a giant.
God, he was a beast and a half.
You know, most of your defensive linemen in that days were like 250, 260. And that's where you look at it now. Then in the 90s, you started getting, and even when William Perry came out, when the fridge came out, it was like, oh my God, because he was
Buddy
literally.
Ryan didn't like him at all. But
as a Cowboy,
Chicago
Dave Butts was
found a way to
6'7", 305, and people were just talking about how big. Oh my God, Dave Butts is so huge. He'd be little now in the NFL.
Yeah, he would.
He literally would be little right now. Too tall. But he was not 300 pound.
Look at their front line too.
There
was some beef up there too.
Like World Grant and everything else. Oh, you mean Washington? Washington had a great offensive line in the 80s.
They were huge up front on that.
Well, huge in comparison.
Over 300 pounds, man. Every single last one of those starters on there.
I don't know that they were all over 300 pounds.
I think they were.
Who'd they have?
I have to check on it.
Russ Grimm, Jeff Bostic. Jeff Bostic was short.
Bostic was huge.
Yeah, Too Tall was only about just shy of 300. I remember Too Tall. Oh man, he was a beast too. Him and Manster both. Oh,
okay.
Goodness.
Jeff Bostic, their center, was 6'2", 268.
Still a pretty good size.
268 for a center versus BB at 330. Okay.
Back then, that did the trick. I mean,
He's 330. That's a big guy. I think he's going to show out, man. Really do.
It's going to be a good season.
Oh.
It'll be a good season.
Oh,
Chris, that's a starting lineup figure. I couldn't remember the name of those.
What's that?
Joe Montana. That Joe Montana, it's a starting lineup figure.
Well, he had it actually in the kind of like my Emmett one. Kind of like this one. Came in a thing like that, but the package, they like rip over here after age from the glue.
Yeah.
And
I want to get me some more of those. I had some.
Jerry Rice, we had that one too. It's just in the
oh God. Okay.
It stands out. And it happens.
Okay, there's perception and there's reality. So Russ Grimm, Hall of Famer, one of the Hogs, 6'3", 273.
No way.
I shit you
I thought
not.
he was bigger than that.
No. Okay, so basically, stretch me out to 6'3", and I'm Russ Grimm. Okay. Let's see. George Stark.
Larry Allen was like 296-ish, I think, when he ran that one player down.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was about 296.
Was he bigger than Leon Lett?
No, Larry Allen.
Oh.
When Troy Aikman threw the interception.
Yeah, he went down to chase that guy right down.
Yeah, he chased him right down just outside the 10-yard line, I think it was.
I think they said he ran a 4.4 on that play or something like that.
He did.
I was like, holy crap, for a big 270-pound guy to run.
Okay, again, I'm telling you, George Stark, who was one of their offensive tackles, 6'5", 260.
Holy!
I told you when Dave Butts was a 300-pounder, there weren't 300-pound guys out in football then. He was like the first one to break through. Let's see. Let me look at Joe Jacoby.
Yeah, he's another one of the hogs.
But they were taller. They were taller and they were lean.
Plus, I think they had bigger wingspans too.
And you know what also it was too? Here's the thing. You had the big loose fitting jerseys, okay? You had all the pads on there because you remember back in the day, back in the 80s, you couldn't use the palm of your hand. You had to use your fist, in which case you wore forearm pads and hand pads. They were almost like boxing gloves that we used to wear.
Yep.
Now, Joe Jacoby was 6'7", 295.
So not quite 3.
Not quite 3. So you think of Tyler Guyton at 6'8", 330?
Yeah.
So you see the evolution of how much bigger guys have gotten. These linemen need to be able to move. And I think you're going to be able to see the youth. Tyron Smith, when he was younger before getting injured, watching him was like watching Larry Allen because he would literally take that left arm and just launch a guy. You would just literally see him just fly. But for the last about 5 years, remember, he's been using a knee brace on that left arm. And he's not that guy. He still is strong as can be, but he didn't move the same way.
I found out how heavy Larry Allen was when he ran that guy down. He was 325.
Right, but that was the 90s, though. We're talking about the early 80s.
Yeah, that had to have been in the 90s, just before. Well, they were wearing their throwbacks, so it had to have been mid-90s, maybe after Super Bowl 30 sometime.
You know, there's 2 380-pound guys, one dude from the Ravens and the Patriots, that are 6'9", 6'8", 380 pounds.
Yeah, like I said, that
Trent Brown and Daniel Flasky or whatever his name is. Filet. That's insane.
Well, that's when you look at a guy like Calais Campbell at 6'8" and about 330.
Okay, Philadelphia, I'm getting sick of that.
I'm glad I don't play defensive end, man. Especially in the NFL, dude. I couldn't imagine that. Oh, man.
You're right. Tyron Smith was not a fat guy. He was not a sloppy fat guy. He was built. Tyler Guyton towers over the rest of the offensive line.
Are they planning on using him on the left side then?
Yeah, he's definitely. There's no doubt he's left side, and BB is a center.
So Dak should be well protected on that left side then.
You're still going to have growing pains. I mean, you're going from college to now with grown ass men that have speed and everything else. When you're in college, think about this. You're taking the top players, the top like 0.5% of college football players, and putting them in the NFL. So the best guy you face in college, you're facing every week. Yeah. You're going to have some mismatches, and that's where I think having a Zeke back there that can also help to try and
on
hit
that left side, yeah.
And you may end up seeing a lot 12 personnel where you're getting the tight ends that are chipping and them turning around and catching a pass. So there's a lot of things they'll be able to do having youth. Okay. CJ, appreciate that. Email me right away so I can print that out before I get ready to pack and leave. And damn, I'm leaving in 10 hours and 51 minutes. Damn.
Oh my gosh, Mark.
Yeah, I like being on the road.
You better get to bed early tonight.
Why? I'm just going to be sitting there looking at the ceiling, wondering what the Cowboys are doing or not doing.
Be safe going.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys will see me on the road there. I'm looking forward to this because I'm surprised he's not in here because.
Yes, where is I'll say it.
No.
Leo.
No, that's not who I was talking about. I was talking about Angry Cowboy. He's up. He lives in Vermont up there as well as Mike J is also another. He's a tailgate member as well. He lives in Vermont. They're about an hour away from where we're going to be. So we might be getting together like next Saturday. Okay, 2 serious questions. Is Parsons off the ball as I can see him playing in the line? I can't see him playing in the line. And are we confident in Steele this year? Parsons plays pretty much everywhere. Sometimes you've actually seen him in the one gap moving around. It's his speed that you see him that he's able to do stuff with. The problem with Micah Parsons is if they're running right at him and you're not able to get pressure where we couldn't and we didn't have the linebackers, he can't make the play by himself. That's where you need to have good interior defensive line play, and you need a stud on the other side. When you think about, say, Denver, when they got DeMarcus Ware and having Von Miller on the other side, you saw how that was a killer combination because you couldn't double team both of them. You had to pick the poison, and that's what we need. We need a guy like Sam Williams to help step up to take off some of the pressure from Micah so he can really, really roam. And if your guy Mazi can basically take on double teams and occupy one of the guards and keep them from going to linebackers, the defense is going to be that much more effective. And
it's going to be
what was the other question there?
About Steele.
Oh, Steele. I think Steele will rebound. When you are coming back from an ACL, a lot of times they say, "Oh, he's back on the field. He's healthy." You're not really healthy. And ACLs, you still take you some time to get back in there. And you'll remember he was not starting. He started out on the PUP list in training camp, if I remember right from last year.
Yeah, he did.
But he's had the whole off season to really strengthen that leg and get used to it. And when you have an ACL injury, it's one of those things you kind of favor. You don't really trust it. And I know when I had mine that you feel a little twinge in it, and it's like, oh my God. So you kind of are apprehensive and trying to protect it. Before you just literally just go out there and play and let it rip. And so I hope that he comes back and just is able to let it rip. Jalen Hurts chokes on Mahomes in Super Bowls and lost. Okay. Lovely B. I'm not sure. A poor man's Jordan Davis. Sorry, Jordan Davis has flashes, but dude can't stay on the field long enough. Sorry. I can't say that Jordan Davis has been there 2 years. Mazi's been there 1, and they screwed with them. They didn't tell. What do you think would happen with Jordan Davis that told him to lose 40 pounds? What do you think would happen with him, bro? Anything?
Probably not much. They may put him back at linebacker.
There you go. All right, let's get our final thoughts, and I'm going to go get the car and stuff loaded and relax a little bit. Game time, you've been so quiet, man. What's your thoughts here?
Well, I just had a live stream before you. I'm letting everybody talk. My thoughts, this is the calm before the storm. I would say that there's not much going to happen. Now, the veterans come in when? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll work out with them, and then they'll all go their own way. Most of these guys will still, the rookies will be finding places to stay between now and, now that they're officially a part of the team, maybe, finding places to live and, getting ready for that. They have a couple more mini camps, and then, the June 4th, I think, through the 6th is the mandatory camp. So
it'll be interesting to see if CD's there.
Yeah, I don't think he will be, but we shall see. It's not a big deal. He'll be signed, sealed, and delivered sometime during training camp. That's how this works. So I'm excited. Just be careful on your trip, man.
Is that a Mystic 2 behind you in that jersey?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Are they having babies now? What the hell?
I don't have a name for it. Chuck sent me another one. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I think it's a little nasty, but yeah, we'll have to come up with a name for it.
How about Scary as Shit? That's a good name for it.
Scary as Shit. But yeah, be careful driving to
Vermont,
and let me know what's going on. I guess you're going to be able to stream for the schedule release, or
I think we'll probably. I'm sure we'll be finished by then, because that'll be about 7 o'clock or so. Yeah, we'll be good for that. And then I'll do my live stream, of course, tomorrow night from Vermont. We're at chilly Vermont, where maybe we're seeing more of the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I did see that. That's awesome.
Supposed to be happening.
Well, I went up last night up on Afton Mountain last night to look and see if I could see it around midnight. And I'm looking, and there was a lot of people up there, and we're looking. We didn't see shit. So they say that it's going to, that it's possibly still going through all the way through Tuesday. And Vermont is definitely closer to the Arctic Circle. So if it's there, then maybe we have a chance to see it.
Hey, Mark, I went ahead and emailed you my address and stuff. That way you can send out the stuff.
Okay. What level are you?
I'm at pretty much I'm paying like $1.99 a month for membership.
All right. No problem. All right. We'll get you the football and the shot glass. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and CJ's getting the shirt right here, Mike, so I'll get that nice shirt. Gave who? Whose email?
You gave me the email, look up the stuff you sent me to ship it out.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I got it.
All right, he'll get it straightened out. All right, final thoughts, everybody, before we get out of here. We'll be live streaming tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern, as always.
Be safe and happy Mother's Day to all you ladies out there.
To all of
women
them.
good. Take them out for a good dinner.
To all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Mean Mug, you are a channel member. Email me, CowboysMark94 Gmail, because you should have gotten one. If you never send me your your address, I can't send you the shot glass if you are a channel member. So first of all, you have to be a channel member, and then do that. Now, we do have a little bit of a change let me say this for channel members too. The Thrive site we are not doing anymore. Tracy is setting up a new system, and so I will be sending you guys, I'll keep a look in the community tab. There will be a post in there for members only to let you know what the new address is. And if you are a tailgate member like Rhonda Lovely Sparks, email me a picture of yourself, because the tailgate members will be getting a special Cowboys Mafia shirt. So you're going to like that. All right?
All right, man.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Bro.
All right, good people. I appreciate everybody being here, and we will see you guys soon.
There's this guy down here. He's
Take care.
got a Cowboys.